Good evening, everybody. My name is Mark DeSalvo. Welcome to the swearing in of the members of our FinCom. Just a quick setup for you. As you know, my opinion of the FinCom is extraordinary. They are a group of sterling individuals who most particularly have skill, capacity, knowledge, intelligence, experience, institutional knowledge, and most importantly, good judgment. And that good judgment has been demonstrated over and over again in my tenure as moderator, and frankly, in the past for our community. It's helped set up the extraordinary position that our community happens to be right now, fiscally, but I also think culturally it's been an important contributor to what happens at town meeting, and most importantly, what happens in our community at large. One of the most fun days for me is not actually running town meeting, but this day, because it's the culmination of the hardest part of my job. Yes, thank you. It's the culmination of the hardest part of my job as moderator, and that frankly is recruiting for the committees that I have the responsibility of appointing. And the most important committee that I have a responsibility for appointing is in fact the Finance Committee. With that as recognition, I'm asking that we'll start with swearing in once again our veteran members. And let me first just acknowledge that Amy Mabley and Helen Picard from our school committee are here. Thank you very much for showing respect to our members. And Chris Nobly, who is a former FinCom member and now member of the Board of Selectmen. Much appreciated for your time, and former school committee member. And I thank you. Yeah, this is called the Triple Crown, I guess. Thank you for each of you for your attendance and respect today. The first person I'd like to call up is someone that was appointed in 2013, has served 4 years, is being reappointed right now for another 3-year term, who currently serves as chair of the Finance Committee. Tim Shearhart, come on up, Tim. Tim has, sure, you can clap if you wish. Tim has been one of those members that has not only contributing as a member, but contributing as well as a chair. We've handed him difficult remits, but most importantly, he chooses to work collaboratively, stays in the background. Step out anytime. It's my pleasure.
Oh, no, keep it going.
Okay, all right, good. And
don't make me angry.
Oh, no, that's quite all right.
You know what I do.
I don't know what you do when you get angry, and I don't want to discover,
Letter to
frankly.
the editor.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yes, that's right. We won't go there. But notwithstanding, we've had a good cooperative working relationship, particularly during the period when a chair and the moderator need to just collaborate sometimes. And I've appreciated that. Most important thing is that we've roped him into standing again for some period of time. And I'm going to ask our estimable town clerk, Joyce Bradshaw, to step in and swear Mr. Shearhart in.
Honor and a privilege, because we see firsthand of what a wonderful job that this committee and all the boards and committees do, and it's not an easy task. We survived 2,700 people coming to our special town meeting, and everything. Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. And if you don't mind, raise your right hand and repeat it after me.
I, Tim Shearhart,
solemnly promise and affirm that I will honestly, faithfully, sincerely, and impartially sincerely and impartially perform all the duties that are incumbent upon me as a member of the North Andover Finance Committee. So help me God.
So help me God.
And I'll have you, John Hancock,
Now, one of the fun things for me is this tradition
right there next to your name.
of signing the book. And the book is the official recognition
Yeah,
that
I
you've
have
been sworn in as a member. And we have
Sign all
this
this. I'll give
archival
you
signing
copies of this. Perfect.
as the town clerk continues her business, of course. As I speak over her, I apologize. But this archival is notations of who has served our government and our community exists since 1643. And this will exist for those future hundreds of years, for those of you who have the privilege of serving and having that small piece of history on a piece of paper. I'm going to ask Tim to stay up with us for a moment, because we're going to depart from the swearing in for a quick second, because we want to acknowledge some service. First of all, we want to acknowledge the service of a member who's just departing, who was my very first appointment to the FinCom, and that's Karen Blake. Karen is unable to be here today, but we thought that it would be important to acknowledge her. She's truly been a sterling member who brought a certain sensitivity and a significant amount of diligence to the committee. And I want to acknowledge that, and Tim, I think, wishes to say a word or two, and most importantly, will make it a point when she's able to come to a FinCom meeting to provide her our valedictory, our proper valedictory, and a small gift as well. Jim?
Yeah. I met Karen when I joined in 2013, and I've had the pleasure of 5 years working with her. And, you know, she's a different and interesting person. And when you get to know Karen, you get to love her. And so I was thinking about all the adjectives as Mark started out talking about the FinCom and its members, and I thought of these things. Intelligent, thoughtful, caring. The town citizen and schools are her passion. Smart goes way beyond the requirements. Tenacious, unafraid to take risks, embarrassed by attention. A friend. She was a key person to really open up the Finance Committee to transparency and to where we are today. If it were not for her and a couple others who are new members of the board, this committee would still be going stamp, stamp, stamp. So we've come a long ways, and Karen was one of the leaders of that. She's curious. She does always seek transparency. She doesn't like surprises, folks. And she does see the big picture, and she was always an active participant. She's a good person, a good friend for life. Couple other things real quick. Some things that she'd be embarrassed by have come out in her world. Let me see. Here we go again with the Chicken Little Act. Words from her. Hijack for political reasons. Words that have come her way. And so forth and so on. But when you see her, these things have come out, she will look down and kind of be embarrassed by it. But for Karen, she was key to where we've come today. And so with this, I'm going to present her this little token of our appreciation. And inside it says, Karen Blake, member, North Andover Finance Committee, July 2012 to June 2018, passionate, smart, and caring.
Here, here.
Thank you very much.
So, a year ago, we would have afforded similar awards to another former member, but that person was unavailable. But we acknowledged him just a little bit earlier today, and that's Chris Nobly. Come on up, Chris. Chris moved from the most important committee in town to the maybe second or third most important committee in town as a member of
Took the stress off.
school committee. Yes, he was liberated, a lot like Karen is liberated. Maybe we can talk Karen into running for selectman or something someday, but notwithstanding that. Thank you for your service. We said similar words about you a year ago, but they remain heartfelt now.
A true public servant. I mean, think about it. North Andover School Committee for 4 years and 1 month. FinCom for 2 years and 9 months. Now he's on the Board of Selectmen. Sorry. He can always come back someday.
Well, no, that's my judgment.
Mark allows it. But I just wanted to let you know that the words that come to my mind relative to what you've been doing here, that the North Andover Finance Committee was another chapter, one more chapter, and that's what this says. Thank you very much, Chris, for everything.
Chris, you're welcome. A comment?
Well, I will say that there are no selectmen here, but this really was.
But this is only live and will be played on tape many times.
This was the most fun group I had serving with, other than my time with Chris Allen on the school committee. No, it's a really great group, and thank you all, because I felt I was just the guy at the end with the little paddle, because there were people that were really, really working hard. So you guys are awesome, and thanks for all you do. You're really fantastic.
Just so you know how fun it is, Chris had it coming.
Yes.
So the next person who's been reappointed is Ed McMillan. Come on up, Ed. Ed is the only member of the Finance Committee that I knew before appointing them. And Ed somehow accepted the invitation a year ago to fill an unexpired term. And I have no idea, but he's made the misjudgment to stay and be appointed for a full term, and I'm delighted by that privilege. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks for having me.
Please.
Okay.
Let me scoot this way, sorry.
Put it this way. And if you don't mind raising your right hand,
Yep.
repeating after me. I
I,
state your name.
Ed McMillan,
Solemnly promise
solemnly promise
and affirm
and affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
sincerely,
sincerely,
and impartially
and impartially
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
that are incumbent upon me
that are incumbent upon me
as a member
as a
of
member
the North Andover Finance Committee.
of the North Andover Finance Committee.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Right there. And I'm just gonna have you sign this as you've been sworn in. We're
Yep.
giving you all these disclosure documents that
I remember them well.
you remember them well. Okay, there you go. Thank you. This is. There you go.
Thank you.
It's good nighttime reading.
That's right.
Ed, if you wish to say something?
Yeah. So I will acknowledge I probably learned a lot more from you people than I contributed, but this year I hope to take your patience and your investment in me and use it to contribute a little bit more this year. I can tell you that I probably was somebody that didn't pay that close attention to local politics, but this was a very exciting year. There was a lot of cool stuff that happened, and I got to have a great purview as to what was unfolding. It was very interesting. I know I met some of the selectmen on our team building and all that, so it was just a nice opportunity with my kids now through the school system to kind of reconnect with the town. So thank you guys. It was very enjoyable. Look forward to a great 2018 through 2021.
21, yes. When Karen told me that she didn't wish to serve after serving for 6 years, which wasn't a surprise, I was delighted that she served that long. I canvassed the members of the FinCom about what it was that the Finance Committee needed. And an image came up, and that image was somebody with institutional knowledge, a person with patience. Other attributes that were important were an ability to persuade, an ability to connect to the community, and perhaps most important, the opportunity to know that listening is a very, very important skill. And it was an easy judgment for me because as that profile came into place, there was a picture. And that picture that formed was Christine Allen. Chris served as a member of our school committee for 6 years in a very equally trying time. And as we move into the next period of time for our community, there are likely issues and experiences that Chris has institutional knowledge about, from school education and building programs, among some planning board experience now, that affords a unique opportunity, and I couldn't be more delighted that she accepted my invitation to serve once again. If you look up the word community service in a dictionary, most likely, among other people, you'll see Chris Allen's picture there.
Right, we've done this before, and so happy to be able to do it again right here.
I think he's got the wrong person.
Well, too late now. Once we swear you in, you're.
That's it, that's
Okay,
okay. All right.
Okay, and I.
I,
State your name.
Chris Allen,
Solemnly promise
solemnly promise
and affirm
and affirm
that I will honestly,
that I will honestly,
faithfully,
faithfully,
sincerely,
sincerely,
and impartially
and impartially
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
that are incumbent upon me
that are incumbent upon me
as a member
as a member
of the North Andover Finance Committee.
of the North Andover Finance Committee.
So help me God.
So help me God.
One more time. There you go. If you don't mind signing that. Oops. Okay. Perfect. And I'll have you sign this that you're receiving all these wonderful information here. And we'll put it with the other 40,553 pieces of paper.
That are all mine.
It's
They're
all
all
about
yours.
paper.
There you go.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Alrighty, all right, so do I have to say a few words now?
Only if you wish.
Oh, I'm gonna, yes, why, yes, I do. I think that, I don't know, I have competition, so, you know. My better half, but I think Mark I've definitely spun a spell over Mark, all those wonderful things, so, you know, patience and listening, okay, we'll see about that. But I'm honored to join this group. It was an interesting year on the planning board, a huge learning curve to be on a board so different than the school committee. You know, when you join a new board, you really don't know how it's going to be. The school committee was a huge amount of work and education, and we did a lot, and it wasn't easy, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a great group of people. And the planning board, again, a whole other dimension of the town to learn, to figure out and understand, and it gives you a whole other perspective about something else, totally different from just the kids. So it was wonderful. And I've done a few other things in town, and it's like the finance committee, it seems like kind of a natural fit. Yeah, I think I can do this, mostly because I know all of you. And we've worked together in a variety of capacities. So actually, many of you in here from way back when the kids were little. So this should be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. And thank you so much. It's really an honor and a pleasure to serve the town. And I mean that sincerely. So away we go, folks.
So just two comments and one more thank you. The thank you is to Tricia Melvin and Celia DeSalvo, who've helped prepare a little repast for you. So come join before the real work begins. Come join us for some cookies and lemonade and cheese and whatever other thing. Lobster fra diablo, I think, is okay. The two comments are, one, I firmly believe that we have a finance committee that represents the demographics, the gender, the philosophies, and most importantly, the interests of the community. And number two, I look forward to a good year of spirited discussion and continued good judgment from the members of the Finance Committee. Thank you for all of your service. Good night, all.